Lines, it's a medicine many Americans aren't getting enough of, and you don't even need health insurance to cover it. We're talking about exercise. Only 20% of Americans get the recommended amount of strength and cardiovascular physical activity each week. Dr. Mitchel Goldman, Dr. G from UCSD, is here once again to talk about the benefits of exercise. Thanks for being here.
It's good to be here, Kathleen.
Let's get down to it. What are the recommended guidelines for exercise?
Well, it's literally the more the better, but you definitely need to do at least 10 minutes a day of some high intensity exercise. And the recommendations are actually for about an hour and a half to 2 hours of exercise a week. And the biggest problems that we have is that if you don't do enough exercise, it's not just obesity and getting fat that's the problem. The problem is not only will you be getting more depressed and you'll be getting more mental issues like Alzheimer's and dementia, but also it affects your heart and as well increases the risk of cancer.
And you mentioned some of the benefits of exercise are really almost too long to list, but it does stave off, or at least research is supporting that it staves off some major diseases like you mentioned.
It really does. And so the more exercise you get, the better. And you can make it fun. So exercise doesn't have to be going out and doing a 100-mile bike ride. Exercise could be playing with your kids. Walking is one of the nicest, most fun exercises. It actually increases your mood. It makes you a little thinking about other things. Cycling is one of the best exercises for actually making you happy. I don't know if it's the rotational stuff or being happy that you're not getting hit by a car. And then running is also a great exercise because it builds bone strength. And so don't forget, aerobic is really good, but also strength training is very important.
And you mentioned some of the types, and we actually have a list for our viewers. And all of these exercises aren't created equal. So how do you actually determine which ones are right for you?
Well, they're all right for you. And basically, it's what makes you happy and what you enjoy. And what I find is that by doing these exercises with other people, that makes it really so much more enjoyable. You know, doing it with your friends not only makes it a social event, but you know, your friends will sort of urge you on and makes it into a much more enjoyable way of taking care of yourself. So remember, you don't have to be a marathon runner, but try to get at least 10 minutes of some high intensity aerobic exercise a day, because you know, that'll get more blood flow to your brain and your skin, so you'll age less, you'll be smarter, and you'll be much happier.
And we can squeeze in 10 minutes, and we only have about 30 seconds to go here. Can you quickly run through the risks of what happens to the body when you don't exercise?
You know, when you don't exercise, you don't get a lot of blood flow. And so what we find is that there is more cancer of a variety of types, more heart disease, and then most importantly to those of us getting older, a higher incidence of Alzheimer's. But if the short-term risks of not doing exercises, you know, your arthritis gets a little worse, it's low back pain, and then for me and so many others, when you don't exercise, you tend to get more depressed and more of in a blah mood. So exercising not only prevents cancer and heart disease, but puts you in a really good mood as well.
That's right. And as the saying goes, if you don't keep moving, you don't keep moving. Dr. G, thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here, Kathleen.